Alright guys, in this video I'm going to demonstrate to you guys a live attempt at me trying to build a web app using the OpenAI Codex CLI. If you don't know what it is, you could Google it, but basically it is a way to do vibe coding with OpenAI. They have an available download that you could get from their GitHub and install it onto your computer, and this allows you to give it prompts within your CLI, like a terminal or git bash is what I'm using, and you could build full-on web apps, and you just prompt it and play around with it and it will code for you. I already have everything installed, so I'm going to quickly go over what I'm actually trying to build. So this is a quick prompt that I just thought of right now. There's a bunch of grammar errors, as you can see, but let's just go over it. So this is the prompt I made. Create a web app that asks for a user to upload an image. After the image is uploaded, the web app should strategically extract 6 hex codes from the image to generate a color scheme back to the user. On the generated color palette page, the user should be able to easily copy each of the hex codes, blah blah blah, and on top of the hex codes component, it will show the original uploaded image and where it extracted the colors from. So if this is a little confusing, basically what I'm asking to build already exists. It's basically a color palette generator based on the image you provided. So for example, if you drag in a picture of a sunny beach, it should generate a color palette of, like, you know, the color of sand, the ocean, the sun, and the sky in hex codes. So you can use it to create a web app that's inspired by the colors of the beach or something, and you can use it as a tool to give you the color palette to work with, and this is useful if you're a designer or something. So that's basically the project. Nothing groundbreaking. There's a lot of versions that exist, but I just wanted to see how effective this Codex technology actually works. So before I begin, this is a crappy prompt that I made up myself, and so I decided to shoot it into ChatGPT and make a very in detailed specific version and an optimized version of the prompt. This is a lot more confusing. I'm not going to read everything. If you want, you could pause it and read it for yourself, but what I'm basically going to do is just copy this whole thing. Boom, copy. Alright, and then we're gonna go over to my Visual Studio Code here, and I'm already in the project file, so I'm going to type Codex, and there we go. This is, again, I already have everything installed, so I'm just gonna allow it all the permissions, and then, whoa, that is not, hold on, it did not copy everything, so let me try it again. Codex, boom. Alright, there we go. It took a bit to figure out how to paste this big prompt. I was having some issues with the new line, so I had to go into my notes and edit some of the formatting, but I found out a way how to paste this whole thing into there. So it's reading this prompt, it's telling me its thought process. It's going to take a while. This is one of the few videos where I'm actually going to edit things down for the sake of you viewing. So yeah, let's jump ahead to when all this is done. Alright, we're back. That probably took maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Not sure exactly how long it took. Does it say? No, it doesn't say. But it finished, and it gives me an overview of exactly what it did. It gives you instructions on how to use the app, and breaks down the logic of what it built and how the program actually works. So I haven't actually seen how it looks yet, or even the code base, but here is the CSS that it generated. Everything looks perfect, as we expect from AI programming. Here's the index HTML. Looks like it's just using basic CSS classes, and then it has 3 JavaScript files. We have the app color palette. Alright, there's a lot going on here. This is my first time looking at it, so I'm not sure exactly how everything works, but there's a lot of logic happening here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open alright, so here's the actual project. Let me zoom it in. Oh, first impressions, looks pretty good. Very simple, nice layout. And let's go ahead and drop in some images. Alright, I'm gonna drag in my first test image. Alright. Oh, so you can't really drag it in. Oh, that's an issue. Alright. Well, okay, so we can't upload an image because this project is a static JavaScript HTML file, and I think to have the upload functionality working, we actually need to work with the server. So that's why we're getting this CORS. We're getting this CORS issue, which is a cross-origin issue, and this happens a lot if you ever did web development, and it's a security thing. So let's go ahead and copy console. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell the AI that we should probably serve this through a server, probably Node.js, to resolve this CORS issue. So it looks like there is the error message. Alright, so let's hope that this resolves the CORS issue and I could actually start using the app. Okay, whew, this is a lot more, this is less easy than you think it is. Alright, now I'm gonna drag in the first test image. I really hope this works because I'm tired of prompting. Okay, the drag and drop still doesn't work. Okay, now it works. Okay, wow, I'm impressed. This is pretty impressive. Okay, I really like the UI. Pretty impressive. I didn't give it any specific design to follow, so it just did this on its own. And as you can see, it gave me a color palette with 6 hex codes, and it tells me where it is being extracted from. Pretty simple, but very, very useful if you're a designer. So let's try another test image. Let's do a Halloween one. Let's drag it up here. Wow. Alright, let's see if it actually copies. So let's copy this blue. Let's try it here. Let me just comment this. And it works. Alright. We have a fully functional tool within, that was probably like what, 15 minutes of vibe coding. Is this responsive? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's pretty responsive. It works. It works. All right. And you could export JSON. So let's see how that works. Okay, so when you open the JSON file, it gives you, an array, and it has all the hex codes. Pretty cool stuff. I'm actually pretty impressed. Let's try another one. What's cool is that it has some validation going on. So, for example, you can export if there's not an image. So it takes into account some, pretty good in taking account edge cases where if you don't have an image uploaded, it's going to disable certain features. These are small things that many times humans forget. But in this case, it has these small things covered pretty well. Let's do another test image. Let's do Tokyo. Dragging in Tokyo, and wow. There's your picture. There's your color palette. Now that I'm looking at this, if I wanted to take this project further, I would ask it to allow me to drag each of these positions to update the corresponding hex code. So for example, if I like all of the colors except for this one all the way on the left, maybe I could drag this one to a different part of the image so it updates here live of the actual hex code. Now I'm sure I could do it, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna keep it here. This was my first project, vibe coding live. and using the Codex CLI provided by OpenAI. But yeah, overall, it's pretty cool. This, if I tried to build this myself, it would have probably taken maybe 3 days to make it perform and look this nice. But with vibe coding, here we are. Now, this isn't a video talking about how this could replace a full on engineer, like human developer. Obviously, in real life, you're going to be dealing with legacy code, proprietary technology, tech stacks, old stuff. There's a limit to what vibe coding could do, but when you're starting like a little pet project like this, it's actually really impressive. So there you go, my first vibe coding video. Overall, it was cool. Let me know in the comments if you tried any vibe coding projects, if you built anything similar, or if you didn't know about Codex. Go ahead and try it out. Like this video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.